Welcome back once again to another session of The Way of the Daniel. The date is March the 7th, 8:41 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And here we have a special treat for you this evening. Going to try to experiment a little bit. As you can see, we have infinity here for you. And we'll immediately jump into our astrological report brought to you by Epic Sax Gandalf. The sun right now is at 17 degrees Pisces. The moon is at 14 degrees Capricorn. Mercury's at 20 degrees Aquarius. Venus is at 13 degrees Pisces. Mars at 2 degrees Gemini. And Jupiter is at 18 degrees Aquarius. Little fascinating tidbit is both the Sun and Venus are approaching Neptune at 20 degrees Pisces. Therefore, we may get a little more into the world of the dream and fantasy, maybe even a little magic. And especially with this Mars and Gemini pulling up, gonna do a trine with, Aquarius. And so shit's gonna get crazy, and hence we are speaking crazy. Enough of the astrology that I don't know shit about. A little bit of a recap from last week's video is that I talked about just putting in the time, and I will get more into a little more about that in a second. But first, as further part of our experiment, we are jumping into the World of Warcraft, where I am playing a horde shaman orc by the name of Buff Gandalf. Kudos to my friends and family for this card game we had that had a character who was actually a buff-looking Gandalf. And so for this speech, I'm going to attempt to play the game while speaking at the same time, also about ideas. What this will do is split my attention between my voice, a continuous speech, and slightly paying attention to what is going on in the game. Enraged thunder lizards. Let's go hunt some thunder lizards. I think we can do that safely at Camp Tarujo, the Barrens. Interestingly enough, is that a couple videos back, I shit you not, I did a video speech on The Night is Yours to Conquer, and for the past 2 nights, I guess this is the 3rd night straight, I've been into this game, World of Warcraft, conquering shit. But now, let's get to, as we fly across the Barrens, let's get into tonight's 3 sort of topics. I meant to set a timer, fuck. Anyway, we'll set the timer now. I believe we can show alarm time for 8:55 p.m. so we don't go too late in this video. First of all, I wanted to talk about express yourself however you can. I noticed this while walking around the other day with lots of pent-up energy. And what it came down to was speaking out loud in any way that I could. If it was slightly forced or quiet or just a word or two. The reason being is that expression has to get out even if you aren't entirely comfortable with it sometimes. Namely being, I remember days walking around at my college town, and I wanted to practice the speech out loud while walking around, especially around people, but that shit gets kind of nerve-wracking because even though people walk beside others all the time and talk out loud or on their phones, they don't get self-conscious. But suddenly the self-consciousness has a way of creeping itself up while out talking by myself. There may be a number of factors for that. I don't really give a shit. I want to actually do it. And so combine that became a form of express yourself however you can. If I have to lower my volume, that's fine. Ideally, though, I can get more into focusing on what it is that I am actually doing instead of have these thoughts of others. Now, I'm getting a little off track with the speech here, so I'll move on to the second topic that I would actually like to talk about. I don't need to talk to that guy. We're going hunting these lizards. Going down direction of thought brings thoughts more easily. This one was incredibly fascinating and potent that I found this morning while practicing 10 minutes of gratitude. And while practicing these 10 minutes, what I did was steadily write down these statements with a very steady pace of the pen, feeling each marking as I wrote down very consciously the words and the letters. And for 10 minutes, I just spent focusing on thinking about things I was grateful for. For example, right now I could say, I am grateful for playing this World of Warcraft right now. I'm grateful for Jose over there playing his cards and his awesome, brilliant ideas, where he suggested, actually, that I do this video stream, this speech, while playing World of Warcraft. Because maybe in the future, I'll want to do live streams and talk while playing. So this is all a practice for which I sort of apologize for because it's batshit crazy all over the place. But I'm sure that isn't a huge issue for many of you. Going back to this idea of going down a direction of thought brings thoughts more easily. I also wanted to emphasize while practicing this gratitude is that actually continuing the constant movement of thought at a steady pace was pivotal here, almost as if going down the direction, having a movement was better than actually spending a whole lot of time thinking about it. Which brings me to the point number 3 that I wanted to get to, is that, and this was really fun, I think this will probably be a little more advanced than what most of you would be prepared for. I would even put this as borderline Jedi super secret powers. I'm not going to go in too much into that, but I will say it was fun with this 2-step process of A, imagine where you're going, and then B, follow through with the action. And to explain that very briefly, when I say imagine where you're going, is right before you're about to do something, do a quick visualization, picture yourself doing it, and then follow it up with the action. For example, right now I see that Mountain Dew off to my right. I'm going to visualize myself picking it up and then unscrewing the cap, and then I'm going to follow it up with the action. That may seem rather maybe unimportant to you right now, but I promise you, well, I promise you it had pivotal implications of its potential, that skill set of where it could go. I was using it at work tonight, playing around with it. I need to play around with this idea a whole lot more, but at work this evening, doing the washing the dishes gave plenty of opportunity to practice using this skill set of first picturing yourself doing the action and then following through with the action. Of course, if you've been watching the previous videos, then you would be doing this whole process very methodically. Methodically. Yes, very methodically and very seemingly slowly. Whatever smooth or slow you can do. And I shit you not, that's the way of like some Jedi superpowers. Go watch the movie Equalizer, and it's like the shit he does in that movie. Very fascinating potential. I'm not going to talk anymore on that direction, but let's re-emphasize the 3 points once more. We had express yourself however you can. I wanted to also add here is that especially if you're around other people, which becomes a huge issue for many of us in how to express ourselves the way we would like to express ourselves. And there's people that will say, don't care what people think about, or just be you. And that's a whole bunch of bullshit. I can speak from experience because that stuff can get downright dangerous. And people don't always appreciate just however you are. And so you really have to focus on controlled expression sometimes. But, which is why, again, we'll say however you can express yourself. With weird noises and shit. Now I'm getting into rambling. Second point, again, going down a direction of thought brings thoughts more easily. I like to say stay in that realm of focus, almost as if you're creating a structure. The structure in this example was thinking of gratitude and staying in that realm, you know, in a relaxed manner. You're not forcing yourself, but I like to set timers of 10 minutes. And going down that direction brings thoughts more easily. There was a curiosity of mine, which I will just mention. You don't have to think about it. But it had also, this is the realm of thought, but it also had some interesting implications for how the physical realm works as well. And then finally, this Jedi master trick, of which I still need to explore a lot more, of picture yourself the action before you do it. Even if you're planning on grabbing something upstairs out of the fridge, do a quick visualization of yourself doing it and then go after it. Something to play around with, these two games. And for that last bit, I did want to add, in the one side, huge positive benefit is the more you practice that, the less your mind will be wandering on stupid negative shit that many of us ruminate on. Myself, I have lots of, I guess you could say, resentment or negative thoughts that fucking I hate because they blind you to other opportunities in life. And I guess at that point we'll close down and kill this thunder lizard that we are hunting their blood for. They're hunting the blood from the orc shaman. One more kudos from old Gandalf here, and we'll close. Thank you once again to Jose for the grand video of doing Warcraft, while doing the speech. God bless Jose and speed him along on his elbow recovery. See you later.